Can you invest in two franchises at the same time? Of course you can, but would I recommend it? You'll have to watch to find out. Can you buy two franchises at the same time? I don't know. Can you walk and chew gum at the same time? So this is a question that I am asked a lot more than I wish I was asked. But no, it's actually a compliment to my process when candidates ask me. And the question usually comes about 1 or 2 weeks into the process when candidates are just so excited about all of the different options that I've shown them that they're thinking, I'm never going to be able to make a decision here. I love all of these, Kim. Can I invest in more than one? The first thing I'm going to tell you is this is your life. You can do whatever you want to do. If you're asking for my opinion, should you invest in two businesses at the same time? My opinion is no. But let me explain why. First, when you invest in a franchise, you're going to figure out that the wealth is built through scale. One of anything really isn't going to make you the kind of money that makes it worthwhile for most people. But you can't get to the second and the third unit without the first one, right? So one is sort of the foundation of your business, but when you get to number 2 and number 3, it starts to get fun financially. So if the wealth is created through the scale and you only put your money into one because now you need money to then go invest in your second business that you're also going to be ramping up at the same time, then I think you're going to miss out on some of the economies of scale where you can grow from one location to the second to the third with relative ease, right? It's like if you have a daughter and then you have another daughter, you already have clothes, you already kind of understand what it's like to have a girl, right? So it gets easier to have that second and third girl. If you have a girl and then you have a boy, it's a whole different learning curve. And that's probably a really good analogy for having 2 units of the same business versus 1 unit of this and 1 unit of this. And so you have 2 different learning curves going on at the same time. Another reason that investing in 2 different franchises at the same time is not necessarily a great idea is it could be super expensive. So when you are getting up the learning curve of 2 different businesses, you don't know really what either one is actually going to require from you in order to get it up and profitable, right? And it's really, really important that you have enough money because the number one reason that businesses fail is because owners run out of money. And you don't want that to be you, especially in a franchise where that's totally preventable because you can validate with other franchise owners. But even with that validation, there's still no guarantee that that's what it's going to cost you to get something up and profitable. So wouldn't it be better to be patient and go slow and open 1 unit of a franchise here, know what it's going to cost, again, replicate that learning curve with number 2, and then over time, if you have that empire building mentality, then you can come back to the Daily Coach and we'll find you your second business at that time. Another reason starting 2 franchise businesses at the same time is probably not a good idea is because you're learning 2 different leadership styles. You're invested in 2 different franchise organizations with varying amounts of training and support. Trying to keep all of that straight at the same time, like how would you do that? There's a lot to learn in the beginning of ramping any business, even the simplest of businesses. I would feel much better for you if you decided to go one at a time. I'm a huge fan of wanting to grow to multiple units in a franchise, but then also over time to be an owner who has multiple brands underneath a parent organization. It's a great dream. I think it just needs to happen one franchise business at a time. So if you're a candidate exploring 2 different businesses and you literally cannot figure out how to pick the right one, let me give you a couple of tips on this. The first thing I would have you do, if you don't already have a goals and dreams worksheet, is to create one. To get really clear and specific about what you're trying to achieve through the business. I'm always more infinitely interested in what you're trying to accomplish with the business than I am what the actual business does. When you are clear and specific on what you're trying to accomplish through the business, and you can look at a particular franchise and you can connect the dots, you can see the path from this business to where you want to be, the answer may be right in front of you. When you get it out of your head and on paper and you connect the dots between your goals and dreams and what this business affords you, the answer may come to you more easily than you think. Another thing that you can do, however, is use the validation. When you're talking to other franchise owners, ask them about how happy they are. Knowing what they know now, would they do it again? Do they feel well-trained and well-supported? If there's even a slight difference between the type of franchise owners that invested in this company and invested in your second company, use that validation to help you make this decision. My advice to you is to make this decision clearly before you commit to a discovery day. Because I also have videos on this very channel about trying to attend 2 discovery days in order to make that final decision. That is also not a good idea. If you find yourself stuck between 2 amazing franchise brands and you really can't figure out which way to go, I would love to be your daily coach. Please contact me today using the email on the screen. And as always, if you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and then ring that notification bell.